right, to make a mistake. So, and then our responsibility, right? So if that's the rule, you only get one chance to make a mistake, then that rule should apply to everybody. But if Mr. Charlie get 3 chances to make a mistake, then it's our responsibility to make sure that everybody get 3 chances. You follow me?
There you go.
It can't be no 2 separate rules, right?
Yeah.
If I got to jump a hurdle that's 6 feet and you got to jump one that's 3 feet, you either got to raise yours or lower mine, right? Because if I lay down because my hurdle is 6 feet and yours is 3 feet, yeah, I made a choice, but at the same time, you setting me up, player. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If me laying down is I made 1 mistake and I had to lay down, but you get to make 3 mistakes until you lay down, that's a problem.
Yeah. And Todd, thank you for bringing, this contemporary language into this conversation, right? Because essentially what you're talking about is equity, right? And how equity or inequities impact people from areas like the 48505 differently. And so when we talk about, the 3 chances that Uncle Charlie get or Mr. Charlie get, but though the 4 of us only get 1, you're talking about inequities that negatively impact our lives, negatively impact our life outcomes. And so we are incumbent on ourselves because the playing field is not fair. Then we got to really teach our young people, hey, you got to be careful because you only get 1 chance. At the same time, we have a responsibility to try to change the playing field so that our young people get more than 1 chance.
And this speaks to the structures that's out there. So we're not telling our kids not to pull up their bootstraps, right? And to pull themselves up by it. But we're aware that there are systems and structures that are in place that have been put there to make it more difficult, whether they are doing it by their thoughts or they're just doing it because this is what they want to do, that it still ends up jeopardizing the person and not giving that person the opportunity to grow and to become and to move forward. So for me, this is what ends up happening. And so one of the things that we try to teach our children is this idea, we raise them with this idea of fairness, right? But in reality, you have to teach them that this world is not fair. Mm-hmm. It's not fair that my son who doesn't have any problems and has never gotten into any issues has one issue and that issue wrecks his life, where the same person whose child grows up the same way, except they lack melanin, they end up getting in trouble and they have no sentence. All of a sudden, what was it called, y'all? Affluenza.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my son got poverism.
There you go. And I just want to just drop a nugget and say, we have to be careful not to negatively or participate in the activity that negatively impacts our own. Because we can often get caught up in that too. And they call that internalized hate. Where we are trying to remain at the table or maintain our position in the locker room. And so we participate in anything that further jeopardizes or creates hardship for the young man with melanin. Because we want to remain in the locker room and we want to continue to participate in the scramble that happens every August. We want to participate in the country club activities when we are doing everything to kill our own just to advance our own selves.
Well, it would be good if that was just the gist of it. But many of the inequities are caused by the institutions that are out there. And need I say cocaine and crack. The difference between that and in the eyes of the law is totally unjust. If you're doing cocaine, you're doing cocaine.
But Willie, we could talk about the difference between heroin and meth. These folks, all of a sudden, they have these opioid problems they want to have banners and everything out there basically saying, forgive them, this is a health disparity. But when our people was getting high on smack, all of a sudden, we was just junkies and needed to go to jail.
It was a war on drugs then. It wasn't a public health crisis then. It was a war on drugs.
So we understand and we see it, but I'm gonna go back to what Sylvester said. What we have to be mindful of is that we can't be pulled into complacency because we prefer the position that they want to give us.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as we talk about just going forward and just making sure that people recognize the importance of making decisions, it's incumbent upon not only our young people as they had different experiences, but as everyone has said, we got to make sure that we are influencing those institutions or the systems that they will interact with, whether it be zero tolerance in the school, whether it be the war on drugs when it comes to the criminal justice system, whether it be the panel that you have to deal with when it goes to the healthcare system. You know, there are a number of different systems that we interact with that determines life and death or our success or failure.
Wow, brothers, that was deep. And I know the porch light then came on, y'all, so I know we got to scurry on. But I just want to give somebody an opportunity that will hit us with something to close us out. Todd, you've been the quietest the last few minutes. Give us something to take us home, man, before I get in trouble.
So yeah, I'm thinking about the late great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who talked about the parable of the Good Samaritan, and he talked about it's okay being the Good Samaritan, but that ain't what I want to be. I want to be in a world where the brother and sister can walk from Jerusalem to Jericho and not have to worry about being robbed. They can walk from Jerusalem to Jericho and have opportunity for equal and equitable employment, have access to clean water and healthy foods, right? And so how do we begin to shift or refocus or magnify the world that we live in so that everyone has access to resources for their well-being?
Wow.
Amen.
Like I said, man, that's how you leave the front porch with somebody. They drop something and you keep it moving. Folks, thank you so much for listening in on us tonight. We're going to go ahead and head in because the street light done came on. But remember, we'll be back next week with another edition of The Front Porch. Have yourself a great evening. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.